You prayed for help, but all you got was silence and more pain. And now, you're tired of explaining a battle no one else sees. You thought this season would pass quickly, but it stayed, like a shadow wrapping around your ribcage, like a weight no one else can feel, but you carry it every hour. Some mornings, you don't wake up in peace. You wake up in pieces. Faith feels like a memory, and you wonder if anyone else notices how close you are to breaking. You don't need advice. You need rescue. You've cried in the shower because it's the only place no one hears you. You've stood in your kitchen at 2:16 a.m., staring at the counter like it owed you an answer. You've begged God to show up, but heaven's been quiet. You're not just sad. You're in spiritual warfare, and your own mind has turned against you. The waiting season has stretched longer than your strength. You're holding on with shaking hands, and no one sees it. But God does. He sees you forcing yourself to get out of bed. He sees the way your soul winces when someone says, "God's timing is perfect," and you nod like you believe it, but you don't. Not today. Not after what it's cost you. But somewhere deeper than belief, something hasn't died. Something still breathes. That flicker, that ache, that ember of hope that refuses to go out. Even now, even here, you remember Psalm 91 not as poetry, but as lifeline. And maybe this isn't punishment. Maybe this pain is holy ground, because the longer you sit in it, the more you start to see this silence is not empty. It's shaping you. You're learning to worship with nothing in your hands, to fight hell with nothing but a whisper. That's real faith, not the shiny kind, the raw kind, the kind that survives without applause, without breakthroughs, without witnesses, because there's glory in breaking and still believing. There's power in saying, "God, I'm not okay, but I'm still here." You've stopped asking for easy. You've started asking for endurance. And that's not weakness, that's maturity. That's war. You're not just surviving. You're being sharpened, sanctified, forged in fire. Some people learn God's goodness through blessings. You're learning it through storms. And maybe that's the most sacred education of all. Because the enemy doesn't waste time on neutral people. You've been targeted because you're dangerous to the dark. He whispers shame. He feeds doubt. He wants you numb. But every time you pray through the tears, he loses ground. Every time you show up when it hurts, you reclaim territory. Every time you lift your hands in defiance of your feelings, he backs off. And heaven writes it down. Not one sigh has been missed. Not one tear is lost. But I know you've been close. Closer than anyone knows. Maybe you've stared at the mirror too long. Maybe you've heard the lie that it would be easier to stop fighting, and no one saw you almost take that pill. No one knew you stood on the edge of your bed at 3 a.m. and begged God to just make it stop. But heaven did. And still, here you are, breathing, shaking, but standing. You are not a failure. You're a survivor of a storm that no one else even knows you're in. That's what spiritual warfare looks like sometimes. Not demons in the night, but darkness in your own heart. And faith looks like this, reaching for God when you feel absolutely nothing. That's why this season hurts so deeply. Because it's not just life, it's transformation. It's where God breaks everything false inside of you so he can build something unshakable. That doesn't happen in comfort. It happens in crisis, in confusion, in silence. But silence is not absence. You are being led through fire by the only one who can hold you through it. This is not the end of your story. This is the groaning of something sacred being born. The death of what you were is the making of what you will buy. And even if you don't see the purpose now, even if everything feels cruel, there is something on the other side of this pain that's worth it. You will not be crushed. You will not be forgotten. You will not be wasted. And even if all you can do tonight is whisper the name of God, He hears it like thunder. If your heart is bleeding in silence, then take these words and breathe them. O Lord, be not far from me. O my God, make haste for my help. When the floods rise and my soul is overwhelmed, hide me under the shadow of thy wings. Strengthen my heart to trust thee. Renew my strength like the eagle. Let not the enemy triumph over me, nor my own despair consume me. For thou art my refuge, my fortress, my deliverer, and I will trust in thee forevermore. If this spoke to your soul like it was written for you, leave one word in the comments. Still, that's all. Still breathing, still hoping, still believing, still here.